What's up, y'all? Listen, real quick, I just want to be very clear. And I know that cognitively, you all know this, right? But I just want to reiterate it. Sex and intimacy are not the same thing. And this is for my men. Fellas, it is not the same thing. Women, we get it. We understand. We absolutely know what intimacy is because we crave it, right? Intimacy starts way before you get into the bedroom. Way before. You can be intimate in the bedroom, but it starts before, right? Intimacy is into me you see, right? Do you see me? Do you see your wife? Do you hear me? The things that I desire, the things that are important to me, is it important to you? Intimacy is vulnerability. Intimacy is opening yourself up and having the tough emotional conversations. That's intimacy. It's connecting on a level that sex can't even take you there. And you may not think that, but that's because you've not really been intimate with your wife. Intimacy is when you wake up in the morning and if she loves coffee or tea or whatever her favorite beverage is, when she's in the bathroom doing her makeup and getting ready, you just go and you just sit the coffee there. Just have it for her. Intimacy is her coming out of the bathroom and seeing her clothes laid out on the bed because you ironed them already for her. Intimacy is instead of you waiting for her to jump up and go get the baby, you jump up and get the baby and you're like, baby, I got it. You get you a little more sleep. That's intimacy. That's, I see you, baby. I am into you. Into me, you see. You want to get the best from your wife? Be intimate with her. That is what women crave. Women crave intimacy. And let me just say this. Listen, why get married? And for any of you who out here single, listen to this. I need you to really think and do some self-introspection, reflection, and be honest about yourself. Be accountable to yourself. Why are you going to get married if you're going to hem and haw and fight and buck against what it is your spouse is clearly saying that they need and that they want? What's the purpose? The purpose of getting married is so that we can become one, so that we can experience joy together. Well, the only way we experience joy together is if we are intimate with one another. Men, I encourage you, if you have a challenge being intimate, go to your wife and tell her. Be honest.
Why can't you, as an empath, just move on like a healthy person, like the narcissist? Pretty simple. The narcissist is the opposite and doesn't take healthy advice. Remember that. What created an empath is the same thing that created a narcissist. I know that hurts to hear, but it's true. As a child, lack of attention, lack of hugs, lack of love taught you to overly forgive, overly love. A narcissist learned just the opposite. That's why they're so void of emotion. But what healthy people that we seek advice from don't understand is that being an empath is kind of like a curse and a blessing. It's a blessing because you're filled with light and love and forgiveness, but it's a curse because you need constant interaction. Your narcissist is gone, your friends don't want to hear about it anymore, and your therapist isn't available 24 hours, and even if they are, you can't afford it. So here you are stuck with this huge bank account of good. You took pictures of good. Nobody takes pictures and films during a fight, but you have a bank account filled with good because you released all the bad. The narcissist collected all the bad so that it could move on when it was done. That hurt. The only time that an empath is not being an empath is through physical touch. But wait, my therapist, my friends, I just got out of a toxic relationship. I'm not allowed to physically touch. They don't understand what it's like to be an empath, but physical touch stops you from thinking. That's our kryptonite. That's what we're holding on to because the last relationship is the quickest way to get back to touching and be relieved of all these crazy thoughts that the world is not as good as we think it is. Empaths need to hug, need to touch, need to cuddle. This is not about sex. When an empath cuddles, they cuddle so hard that if somebody else saw it, they couldn't tell the difference. They don't know where the empath stops and the partner begins. It's like one big body with four legs and two heads. And these people do not understand it because you're taking your advice from somebody who's not an empath. Is it healthy to go out and start touching people? Absolutely not. You're not prepared emotionally to do this. But understand your pain comes from the fact, just like a child that is trying to process thoughts starts cutting themselves to turn it into physical pain so they can understand it. You are doing it emotionally. You are emotionally cutting yourself every single day, trying to touch somebody when the society says, no good. Maybe we should get a puppy. Maybe we weren't hugged enough as children, but this is why we can't move on. Hope that helps.
I wish someone would have told me that sacrificing my boundaries in the name of empathy wasn't noble. I wish they would have warned me that all it would do is make me a safe house for other people's demons. I think empathy has to be taught in two parts: how to put yourself in someone's shoes and see the hurt they were given that made them hurt you, and how to understand that you still don't deserve what they're doing. Their scars are no excuse for the wounds they give to you. Their inability to heal is not something you can fix if you stay and continue to let them treat you in all these unacceptable ways. If you give them excuses and safe places for their darkness instead of demanding they do better, the only thing you are teaching them is what you'll put up with. We want to live in a world where hurt people don't hurt people, but the reality is that starts with you standing up for yourself and not accepting disrespect. You chose to heal. You chose to take the darkness the world gave you and still be a light. You chose kindness despite the pain you received. They can too. Empathy is not an excuse to sacrifice your boundaries so someone can keep hurting you.
It's nearly impossible to explain to someone how hard it is to let go of a person, even if you know that they're not good for you. It's like you have to convince your brain every second of the day what the reality is because it wants to hold on to the fantasy instead. It's like you wish that these people who ask you why you can't get over them could see when you break down at night, when you beg your own brain to let them go, when you beg just to be free of them, just to know what it feels like again to be yourself and to not need them and crave them the way that you do. It's harder than people think, and it makes us feel so much worse when we have those questions. Why can't we do it? It's not that we choose to be in this terrible place, in this terrible pain. We just feel stuck there for right now because we love them so much that we would let ourselves go through the pain instead of putting them through it.
Yo, if she has no problem dressing bummy, sweats, hair up in a bun with no makeup, wife her up right now.
There goes my heart beating, and you are the reason I'm losing sleep. Please come back now. There goes my mind racing, and you are the reason that I'm still breathing. I'm hopeless now. I'd climb every mountain and swim every ocean just to be with you and fix what I've broken.
If you're seeing this, I'm about to describe you. You like to make people laugh even if you're sad. There's someone out there that you really miss, but you're not sure if they miss you. You overthink everything before you go to sleep, but sleep is your only way to escape the world. You're insecure about your voice and your body. You're afraid to show your feelings to others because you think you'll be judged. You don't trust easily, because when you have before, you've been hurt.